On Wednesday, 28 August 1996, at about 4 a.m. in the morning, a UFO appeared over Erasmuskloof, a suburb of Pretoria.
This amateur video was taken by a policeman on duty. On close inspection, the object changes color and they are also changing lines.
Police sergeant who was patrolling that night, by the name Sergeant Johan Baker, saw lights floating in the air that were disc-shaped and were slightly glowing. The story was covered by the South African Broadcasting Company in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Some say it was a marketing ploy, others say it was a stray advertising balloon tossing around in strong winds. But no one can say for sure that the city might not have been visited by someone or something from another planet.
When interviewed, Sergeant Baker described seeing lights floating in the sky and something he could only describe as from another world. Here is his incredible story.
I wasn't sure what it is, but it really looked like a saucer or something. It was round, and there was one stage we could see lights coming from it, and everybody was following it, and it's a very interesting phenomenon.
The sighting is said to have taken place near the Adrian Vlok police station. At first, when the police officers who witnessed this call for backup, their colleagues laughed at them because they could not understand the things they were describing. They made no sense. However, more and more reports of sightings around the area, especially of the normal everyday people that lived in the Centurion area, forced the police to respond. And respond they did. The South African police stationed in that area sent the flying squad, the K9 unit, and all mobile units from around Pretoria at the time. Get this, the police officers on duty that night watched the hovering UFO in the sky for over 90 minutes. And not just that, one of the officers, one Nico Stada, caught the whole event on tape.
On close inspection, the object changes color and they are also changing lines. Technicians say this could have been caused by the camera, but the man behind the camera believes he has seen what no man has seen before.
This was 1996, not everyone had a phone with a camera, mind you. On top of all this, the police also sent a police helicopter to chase after this supposed UFO. The chopper was piloted by Colonel Fred Vijoen, and he had 4 other officers on board.
Police pilot and 4 passengers were sent in pursuit of the elusive UFO. They couldn't catch it and sometimes couldn't even maintain the same altitude.
Colonel Vijoen was later interviewed on SABC, and this is what he had to say.
If it was a star, it would have disappeared as it became light. It simply didn't disappear. It stayed in front of us, and we were 5 people in the aircraft who all saw this, so it was definitely not my imagination. But the strangest thing of this phenomena was the way that it flew ahead of the aircraft, the undulating movements up and down and to the left and to the right. That certainly was very strange. I've never seen anything like that before.
A bright light above Mamelodi, a township near Pretoria, about 70 degrees above the horizon. I saw something. It was the first time in my life that I had seen something like this. At first, when my fellow police officers called out, I thought it was a joke. This police pilot tried to go after the UFO at full speed, but somehow it still outran them. In fact, what was very unusual was the undulating motions of the craft. They tried their best to follow the white craft, even though it traveled at high speed with very unusual flight patterns. Eventually they gave up because they were outrun and they also ran out of fuel. This was a well-trained police helicopter pilot, well informed in aviation and flight maneuvers, yet he could not clearly describe what he was looking at. In fact, police officers from 3 different suburbs around Pretoria were witnesses to this event. Even a radar operator at the Johannesburg International Airport also confirmed a sighting. The white pulsating light is said to have contained a red triangle and also emitted green pulsating lights. The most interesting part of this story is that the chase involved more than 200 police officers, many police vehicles, and even a police helicopter. In fact, the sheer number of people who witnessed this event is completely mind-blowing, because not only the police officers saw it, but even the local people in the area also saw it.
That there was something unusual in the sky this morning seems certain, but those who know what it really was have been as silent as the noiseless bright disk that has had many casting a curious glance into space.
So what on earth do you think this was? Aliens from another world? A mistaken aerial phenomena? Or maybe a top secret military aircraft? Leave a comment below, let me know what you think. If you are fascinated about UFO stories in Africa, then please like this video and also subscribe to this channel, because I also find them very interesting and I promise to cover more of them in the future. For example, I made this video recently about school children in Zimbabwe who had contact with extraterrestrials, and the ET even had a message for the world. If you want to hear what all this was about, click on the pop-up banner to find out. And if you love what we do here, The African Scientist, why don't you buy us a coffee? Thanks. The African Scientist now even has a super cool podcast. You know, all the cool people nowadays listen to podcasts. You can listen to a podcast while you exercise, clean, or even during your daily commute. It's an awesome way to stay in touch with the world of science and an awesome way to stay informed. So click on the link that I will leave in the description to go and listen to some of our podcasts. I guarantee you are going to really like them. Interact with us on our social media handles on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. This is The African Scientist, science from an African perspective. YouTube thinks you like this video, so why don't you click and see if they're right?